This message is going out for you, Rick Delfino, in response to a question you asked on my recent reel I shared. And what I really want to break down for you first and foremost is the way you identify yourself with this label that has been put out there for a lot of us. Because once upon a time I suffered with anxiety, like extreme bouts of anxiety, to the point where even just a normal day became so hard to function. At one point in my life, it easily clouds our ability to step forward from a place of ease. And that is exactly why I share what I do, to offer out this shift of perception in order for you to take your power back and cope with life, just in general. Now, to go back that bit deeper to the root cause of what triggers off anxiety. Anxiety is triggered off by a need to control the path forward, by a need to understand and see every step you are walking in order for you to feel a sense of safety. The whole foundation of where you started to mold your whole being and identity toward yourself, it would have been given to you by what you witnessed. When you understand this, you understand that you've become so overconsumed with the need to control your sight forward, to see your steps before you take them in order for you to sit in a state of peace. It's like a branding into your own identity, attaching yourself on repeat that I am this, I suffer from this, I have anxiety, I have depression, I have whatever mental health disorder that has been labeled into your own identifying of self. This is one of the most crippling things that you can allow yourself to be stamped with. Because like I always say, the moment we attach a label to ourselves and we put these walls around us and title ourselves as being of this, of that, whatever it may be, that is basically shutting every other doorway of potential and the unlocking of the better versions of you from coming into play. Because you basically sold your soul to identifying yourself with that branding that I'm speaking about. That's the first point to break away from. Above all else, stop telling yourself that this is what you have and this is what you are. Because just like that chaotic energy has learnt to become the loudest thing that you focus your attention on, you have all these other frequencies of calm, of peace, of clarity that exist within you too. And this is where you need to start understanding that the words you speak on yourself, they are so powerful. They form your beliefs about who you are with those words. Learn to go even beyond that one part of your nature and understand that that is one tiny fragment that exists within you. That anxiety, it is not you in your wholeness. We are everything, even the anxiety, even the suffering, even the depression, even the sadness, all that, it is all part of us. But on the flip side of those heavier emotions within the contrast of frequencies itself, you are all those beautiful lighter end of the spectrum contrasts as well. They can be the ones that you choose for yourself to tune into and make the most prominent part that you're going to identify yourself with going into the future. Starting at this very moment, learn to shift your focus on all the other higher frequencies that run through you that you have neglected throughout your walk of life, and you've allowed them to lay dormant within your existence itself because your focus has been so consumed with identifying yourself with these flawed parts of you that are actually making you suffer, living in bouts of prolonged suffering, and you don't ever have to remain stuck in that mental state. And how you release yourself is by implementing these avenues that will bring you back into the here and now and quieten down that noise that has become so loud and overtaken your whole perception on your existence, really. So crack those doors open and step into it. And allow yourself the right to try things you've never done before. Allow yourself the time. Your time invested into you, it's invaluable here. This is what will offer you those pathways, and slowly but surely you will start to strip away from that old way of identifying yourself through your walk of life, branding yourself as these things that create suffering and stagnancy within your bettering of self. These are tools that we can always implement into our state of existing right now. What will help you gain control over your own self again and bring your energy back into a state of balance is you allowing yourself the time and the right to explore avenues that can help you bring those erratic energies, that noise within your mind, to bring it back to a place of stillness. And there are so many ways. It is so vast, the avenues that you can go down in order for you to find what is going to work for you. Because what works for me, this is my go-to protocols that have worked for me. I'm pretty sure I shared some stuff with you previously, and that was some of what had assisted me in bringing my mental state back into a place of calm, where this new way of patterning has become me now. I don't stress over the little things in life at all. I don't stress over anything, to be honest. I can feel that first response trigger off, but my logical mind has learnt those tools to bring me to a state of calm. And because I did it so much over the years, it has become what is my natural response now, is to straight away go, wait a minute, I am not the things that take place around me. I do not have to perceive my world in the way that this world tells us to, stress over and focus our attention on these outer situations that cause us to expect so much of ourselves and expect so much of life itself. You do not have to sit in those states. And how you bring yourself back into the place of balance is by allowing yourself to explore these avenues that are going to bring peace into your world, stillness into your inner state of being, beyond the noise and the chaos that your mind has become so accustomed to functioning under. How you do this? Meditation. This is massive. And to go into a meditative state and bring yourself to that calm, it can come about through many different channels here. And a few of them that really benefited me was listening to certain frequencies that I play, to bring myself back into a place of focusing on something so far away from whatever that noise is on repetition in my mind. Just being in the now and taking in a sound, a vibration, a beat, something like that. Even words of another person that have a calming tone, they can bring us into a state of calm, because it is in the frequency that has intentionally been projected into the things outside of us that can offer us tools to bring ourselves into calm. So sitting in nature, hearing the sounds of life happening in the here and now, just this quietening of that noise, that is what allows you to take your power back. Lifting in the gym, that's another release for me personally, because I'm letting excess energy out of my body. I'm overexerting my physical body to deplete, that energy that's running through me. If you're somebody who has a lot of energy, it can very much accumulate energies to remain stagnant in the body, and those energies that get trapped within our body, they can cause an allergic reaction almost. There's always a reason why we go through what we do, because it offers us beautiful hidden blessings along our path when we have to take these detours, due to life slowing us down and saying, no more of that. We're going to pick you up. This is our higher self that does this to us oftentimes. Our higher self will just pluck us out of a situation by force. When we are at a point of that breaking down and destruction of our old way of functioning, it will force us into new pathways that don't seem so positive on the surface when we're going through it. But after you've gotten yourself through it, you can sit back and look and understand why it took place. And you can find those hidden gems along that pathway and see the bigger reasoning and the bigger purpose why you had to go through that bout of suffering, that bout of, destruction coming into your world, because you were meant to go down that pathway in order for you to equip yourself with the tools that you never would have found if you did not get presented with that destructive and chaotic pathway that you walked. So there's always a blessing that you can take from every single situation. If you allow yourself to shift your perceptions and see it in this way, this is where your freedom comes about, to release yourself from the cage that has kept you stuck in that mental prison. Just your everyday walk of life, without having that voice in your head become the most prominent aspect that you focus your attention on, because this is how anxiety is sparked. This repetitive motion that takes place within our internal state of mind where we become so focused and in tuned to the noise rather than the stillness that is always there residing within us, should we choose to put our emphasis and focus back into that place that brings us clarity, peace, calm, and trust for whatever it takes place in life for us, because we can never truly predict what is going to come about. Only for our own internal state of frequency that we cultivate within us. That's the only control we have, like I always say. The rest of it, we have to take into account that whatever we're interacting with through the outer world is going to have its own vibration, and we don't get to control that other thing's vibration. Only it gets to decide that for itself. The people, the situations where so much energy has been injected into it, it's going to carry its own frequency. We don't get to decide how our energy is going to come into contact with those other frequencies from the outside world. All we get control over is our coping of interacting with the outer world energies. And when you understand that you always have the choice to deal with things in a way that's going to add goodness into you, instead of that chaotic energy and that loud noise of chaos that keeps being overstimulated through your thought patternings, that's where you grab control over your inner state of peace, and you can always center yourself again and bring yourself back into a state of grounding. You become receptive and open to your path unfolding without needing sight of anything coming in, because at the end of the day, you've come back to this place of trusting in your coping mechanisms, in the tools you've allowed yourself to work with in order to cultivate peace and balance and harmony back into the whole foundational makeup of everything you are. You are all things. The same way that chaotic noise runs through you, the contrast of that, what exists within you, is the peace and the harmony, the states of just being in the here and now, and that calm point of clarity that you allow yourself to grow within your own mind. So focusing with intention on growing that peaceful mind within yourself, understanding that you are not that noise within your mind. You are all things. The noise exists in you, yes it does, but the peace exists in you too. Which side of that contrast do you wish to focus your attention on? This is where it's at. This is where it's always at. Your free will to decide for yourself how much time you're going to give to what frequency you would like to move through you. That's your point of power. That's your point of control that you get to decide for yourself. So I really hope that made sense for you, and you can now shift your perceptions on how you identify with yourself and truly take your power back and walk the path that's going to bring the greater goodness into your world, because you are always worthy. Like I say, all it is your free will to choose this pathway for yourself, the pathway that offers you peace and the unlocking of more of that higher frequency to run through you. And to anybody else who comes across my messages, I hope you find some benefit throughout my words in order to unlock your best timeline yet.